What's up, my people? Hope you all are good. This your boy again, Safra Fades, with another classic. I really spent some good time without appearing on YouTube, but then I'm back and I hope for good. Yeah, so today we're going to be seeing one of the problems that most of my clients face, the clients that I give home haircuts. Uh, they're usually complaining about the clippers that they buy, because most of them at times they buy clippers to be shaving their beards, you know, but then you find that they are usually complaining about their clippers. Most of them tell me that the clippers become blunt with time, or the clippers are blunt. But then, yeah, I don't really think they can get blunt in a very short period of time. I mean, in less than a year or some months, really. Because even I, who uses clippers for professional use, I usually sharpen my clippers after something like 3 to 4 months. So for a person that uses them alone, I don't think it can really happen. So the first thing you should look at, like most of my clients want to cut close to the skin. Like you want your clippers to cut close to your skin. So when you're cutting your hair or your beard, you find out that it's leaving out some hair. And this is because the clippers are not zero gapped. You should always remember to zero gap your clippers if you want them to cut really close to the skin. So when all clippers are bought, most of the clippers, when they're bought, they come when they're not zero gap. There's always some gap between the cutting blade and the comb blade. I don't know if you can see it. Let me try to adjust. Can you see this? Can you see this? Yeah, so you see this, the cutting blade, and this the comb blade. So there's always some gap in between, as you can see. Yeah, this is to mean that your clippers are not meant for making hairlines, or they're not even meant for cutting really close to the skin. But you can still try to, change them up and adjust the blades so that they give a result, maybe the results you want. So this is what I'm going to be showing you. And for you to do that, you only need this and this. So I'm going to show you how to zero gap this. This is a magic clip, and I changed the blades. These are not the blades for the magic clip, but they're almost the same. Zero gapping these blades is the same as zero gapping the blades for the magic clips, which are the fading blades. Yeah, so you first open this up. Yeah, so this is the cutting blade I was talking about, and this is the comb blade. And for those who don't know that the use of this foam here, it limits the sound. Yeah, so the first thing you have to do is to brush this up to make sure the hair is off. Like try to brush it off to make sure the hair is off. Yeah, you also have to brush your blades, brush them off. Brush, you see, you have to take all this hair off to make sure that the movement is smooth between them. So after brushing, the thing you have to do is to put back the cutting blade first. You put it back, yeah, make sure it's in. Then you put back the comb blade and screw it up. Yeah, I mean screw them up because they're two. Yeah, so when you're doing this, you should make sure they're not totally tight. You should not over tighten them, because remember, you have to adjust the blades. Yeah, so if you make them tight, you won't be able to adjust the blade at the end. So make them somehow loose. Yeah, so this is how you adjust the blades. You make sure they're on the same level, both the cutting blade and the comb blade. You make sure they're on the same level, then you try to tighten it. You first tighten one, because you see it's on the same level, like they're on the same level. So they're not yet on the same level. You first unloose them and make sure you first put one side on the same level. After doing that, you tie it. Yeah, as you see, one side is already okay, then this one is a bit different. One is lower than the other, so you have to put them on the same level. If you put the cutting blade beyond the comb blade, then it's going to be cutting your customer. That's when you see when some guys shape you up, you're left with some scars on your forehead. So we try to put this one also on the same level. The size left is this one. Yeah, try putting it on the same level. And here we are. As you can see, not yet. So you can even unloose it and press it on the table. Yeah, hold. Then you can tie it up. Yeah, so as you can see, they are on the same level. Yeah, on the same level. So this will cut close to the skin than the way it is, than the way it was. I mean, it will cut closer to the skin than the way it was. Yeah, and after doing it, you have to make sure you test it first on your hand to feel if it's not hurting you. Because if it hurts you, then meaning it will be leaving some wounds. Yeah, so we're done with zero gapping. This time it can cut close to the skin, more close to the skin, and make some lines. Yeah, for you at home when you're lining up your beard or your forehead if you can. Yeah. So apart from that, the other problem you may face is finding out that your clippers are not cutting hair. Like you're trying to cut hair, but the clippers are not cutting. It may not just be because they're blunt, but you should also try to hold the cutting blade. When the clippers are plugged, you try to hold the cutting blades. Sometimes it may be a problem of the power voltage. You should really know how to manage this and play with this. Yeah, so you should really know how to play with your power voltage, and this way you play with it from. If you're trying to cut your hair and you realize the hair is not being cut down, or your clippers are not cutting your hair, you should come here and check the cutting blade. The cutting blade is one that moves. I don't know if I showed this to you before. You see? The one moving is the cutting blade. The one moving is the cutting blade. Off, on. The one moving is the cutting blade. So if your hair is not being cut down, come to the cutting blade and press it. You see? I'm trying to press it. If you press it and it still moves, that means that your hair, that the clipper is ready to cut your hair, like it can cut your hair down. But then sometimes the power is too low that the cutting blade doesn't move. So let me show you. Yeah, so you see, if I try to hold the cutting blade, wait. If I try to hold the cutting blade, it's not moving. You see? I try to hold it, it's not moving. The cutting blade is not moving. So this means it can also not cut your hair. So you should really learn how to play with this. You should tighten it up to when you, right? You tighten it up to when you hear that sound, and you untighten it a bit from there. Yeah, I think from there the clippers have the power to cut any texture of your hair. Yeah. Thanks guys for watching the video, and this is the end. See you in the next classic.